The Human Target, issue 8, Tom King writing with Greg Smallwood on art. So, big things here. Red Rocket, or Rocket Red, I say it the wrong way around. Yeah.
Yep. Red Rocket's a completely different character.
Yes. Rocket Red shows up, they're lying in bed, and just starts opening fire on Chance. Yeah, and Ace tries to block it for a bit. So we get a cool little shootout scene. I really like the pacing of this, where like Chance is like, he's jumped down to the side of the bed, and he's taking the shot back, and like Rocket Red's like, you can see him through the hole in the door where he's blasted the shotgun, and he's like, hey, don't shoot at me again. This is new armor or new paint on my armor, and he shoots him. There's a nice comedy beat to it, and then obviously it skips ahead to Chance waking up because he's been knocked out. And yeah, so there's a couple of running things here. Every time Chance gets knocked out and wakes up, he always asks for what time it is, and the Rocket Red just says something vague like, "Oh, you've missed lunch," or "You've missed dinner," or something. It's not until the very last time where he reveals what the time actually is. But yeah, what did you make of the Rocket Red issue anyway?
So I gotta say, unless I'm mistaken, this is the most action-centric issue, maybe since the Guy Gardner stuff. And even then, that was towards the end. But this is a lot of like that shootout scene at the beginning. Like, we haven't really had anything like that up to this point. So that was a nice shock to shake things up, as it were. And then just Chance constantly falling asleep. I kept going like, okay, but he got a poison. Like, he's missing a day.
The two things that stuck out to me about this issue is, one, Rocket Red tells this story about how, or actually not, it's Chance who tells it in his narration, but he tells a story about how Russia won this war against Napoleon and all that, and it was basically they were willing to lose and lie in wait and then strike when the least expected it, right? And part of me was thinking, oh, is this like Chance is willing to lose? That's the poison. Like, he's willing to lose until he ultimately wins, right? We're teasing something there. But the other thing to kind of contradict that a little bit is that at the end, when he finds out it's the end of the day and he gets mad and he's like, damn it, I've missed the whole day because of you.
Right.
It's maybe the first time in the whole book that I think I really felt him care that he was dying.
Coming to grips with his mortality.
And it's the only time I've maybe questioned that he's not got something up his sleeve. And maybe he is actually scared of dying now.
Well, I think, so my rationalization there, right? The part of my brain that wants to be right, that he has got something up his sleeve, is I lost one day because of this guy to find out, to complete my mission of who tried to kill Lex. Like, he kind of guesses that it was Guy because of the poison and whatnot, but he still doesn't really have proof because they killed Guy.
It's worth mentioning.
His frustration.
It's worth mentioning Rocket Red is here because he's looking for Guy.
Right. He's looking for Guy because he called Guy, and him and Guy are best friends. And that usually, he checked and he's not off planet, and he checked he's not on planet. So that means he must be dead. Because if Guy Gardner's not responding, and so he went to the last place that he, heard that he was going, that was to meet him. And so, yeah, he even, he does the Guy Gardner trick of taking someone up into space, right? And then dropping them so they'll talk to Chance, and Chance is still replying with basically an F off.
I actually like that he recaps the whole plot up until this point, as we get that long vertical panel as he's falling through the sky. It's kind of representative of like he's falling deeper and deeper into this story. I don't know, it kind of worked. It's just weird. You don't normally put the recap of the story in the middle of the book, but it kind of worked in this way.
It does. But that's where it made me feel like Chance's frustration, not just with dying, but with the overall that, he feels like he's in the brambles now, and he's getting caught up on all of them. So it's not as cut and clear as he thought, and he's lost a day of this now. And I just felt that frustration at the end, and I did love that. And that's the art and the story and the words working together perfectly.
Yeah, ultimately when he wakes up at the end, it's even though Rocket Red was convinced that Chance had killed Guy, he's heard a transmission from him, which, we get a little explanation for that afterwards, that Ice sent a recording to him. But he gets mad, even though Rocket Red's been friendly enough, handing him booze, and he punches him and kicks him and gets really mad because you took a day from me. I've wasted a day because of you. And Ace has to stop him because she's worried he might kill him.
Yeah.
So we end this really tranquil moment with Ace and Chance in bed, and he's happy to be lying next to her, and he's taking a drink. But he says at the end, I died yesterday, I died today, and I'll die tomorrow. I'm the human target. That's the game. It is almost like it's in big neon lights. Like, don't worry. At the end of the story, he's meant to have died, and it's okay because he's the human target.
Right. Yeah, but just that frustration at the end, and then the whole thing that Rocket Red tells him of, in Russia they drink to celebrate. So births or at a funeral to celebrate their life. So he doesn't always drink. So then at the end, when he offers him that drink, it's there's nothing for Chance to celebrate. And he smashes it on Rocket Red, which that was a nice touch. But yeah, no, Smallwood's art's fantastic. It's completely different than even the last issue, which was a lot. That last issue was a lot building on the fire and ice dynamic with Chance. A lot of expressions and a lot of talking and a lot of back and forth. Here was a lot more, we got that action sequence and then a lot of him, doing things and having that conversation, but in a different way than last issue. So it's nice to see Smallwood be able to change it up.
And there's I think one other thing that sticks out to me is he reiterates at the end with a narration that the reason how Russia won is that to win you have to have nothing to lose. So you have to let so in that case they let Moscow burn. I think this is maybe setting up this idea that he's starting to care more. Let's assume that he doesn't have something up his sleeve and he's actually scared that he's dying. The reason why he cares for the first time now is because of Ace. The idea that he has something to lose now. So I think that
he had nothing, now he has everything.
Yeah. So I think that's why that final moment feels really better. She's like on his chest and she's sleeping happily, and he's lying there just looking dead straight up. It's almost like this realization. Oh, I care about dying now, and that's why this hurts.
It's gonna be a real kick in the pants or nuts. Take wherever when it's gonna be revealed that Ice did all this. And he was so blinded by this relationship with her. That it is gonna it's gonna hurt.
I think this is partly why him getting angry and kicking the shit out of Rocket Red and saying you took a day from me works so well. Is because it does come quite abruptly, and I think it's abrupt to him as well. I think him feeling this way is a new feeling, and I don't think he's used to processing it. Yeah. So
because he even talks about that with his dad, that he was never going to get, he wasn't going to be that guy. He was going to be the other guy, and his dad. That's why his dad was crying, because he had everything to lose, and that wasn't going to be him. And now, in a way, he's kind of become his dad. And oh my God, that falls in as I'm talking this out. That falls in with the Tom King dad narrative. A lot of his stories are difficult relationships with dads. And man, see, Tom King always finding new stuff as we talk this out. This is why these books are great.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. It's funny. It's almost like, I would say it's on the lower end of these issues, just because I probably wouldn't rank it higher than maybe 6 of the other issues, but the fact that it's still this good is the compliment to it, and obviously the art's fantastic. The pacing and the action at the start, as much as there's maybe not as much subtle facial expression stuff here, that final page, the way that Chris is looking up at the ceiling as Ace is lying on his chest, there's so much in that look when you pair it with everything that the book's been saying, that that magic is still in there, and it's still working overdrive all the time to get across everything that's happening. There's a performance to the characters, which is great. So what are you rating The Human Target issue 8?
I'm going to give this one an 8.5.
I will agree with the 8.5. So there you go.